Alright, what's up, peeps? Haven't posted in like 3 months. Was sick all last month, had the flu, still kind of got some symptoms and stuff. But the show must go on. So, we've been watching a lot of shows. One of my favorites of the shows that I've watched is 11/22/63. It's a Stephen King novel originally, and then they made one season, and it's on Hulu. It's like a sci-fi, very, very, very awesome show. Only 8 episodes, real fucking quick. About like an hour a piece, so you blow through it, you know. But it's basically a review on it. Well, not a review, but give you the idea of it. Basically, this guy who owns a diner finds out that he has this little portal in his diner where he can go back to 1960, and then he can only go back for 3 years. Like, I believe it's 1960 1963, and that's it. But you can go back as much as you want, and whatever, if something gets fucked up, you can come back, fix it, it's all good. But so he does that, and he's got cancer, so he's dying. So he tells was it James Franco, Josh Franco, that's the guy, the actor, tells him about it all. He thinks he's freaking nuts because he's like, what the fuck? The guy's a teacher, you know, and he's hearing this like conspiracy type shit. And he's his friend and whatnot, and it's freaking insane. But it's awesome because it's like Stephen King is like, when he writes it, is like, it's like he's able to he's able to bring out like what really happens with conspiracy theories and like reality. And this guy just thinks he's totally nuts, and he's right. That's the thing. He's fucking right. At least in the book. I'm not saying all conspiracies are right or anything, you know. But in the book, or not in the book, in the movie or the show and in the book, he's right. And it makes you wonder, you know. That's what makes this show freaking fantastic. Is it's like, wow, there's so many possibilities, so many different variables, what really could have happened, and what, you know, what the media portrays it as. What are they hiding? You just never know. But anyways, so this guy, he's not into it. He's like on a board because he's like, what the hell? He checks it out, you know, and he's like, what the F is this? Trying to figure out what's going on, you know. Eventually, he dies. The main guy that tells him about it dies, so he feels obligated to go in there, which I guess he kind of had to die, because if he didn't die, Franco would never have gone in. I can't remember the character's name. He uses aliases and shit. But Franco, the guy playing the character, he goes in and lives it out, and it's freaking nuts, guys. It's freaking nuts. So he's like in 2016, from 2016, I believe, and then he goes back to 1960, lives it out for 3 years down there, and he plays it out twice. So long story short, because I don't want to give it all away, you know, he's meeting friends. He makes money by having all the bets already set, you know, like he's got all the bets for all the games, and some people figure out that he's cheating or whatever, and, you know, whoop his ass a little bit, whatnot. And it gets wild. So there's another guy who ends up seeing him. Well, he's got a friend back at home in the real world whose entire family is murdered. Goes back and he goes back there and tries to stop it, saves the family. Fucks the whole world up even more. It's insane. And then that's how he meets his sidekick buddy. So it's him and the sidekick, eventually his sidekick joins up with fucking Lee Harvey Oswald and fucking joins this. He doesn't join him, but he's like friends with him, and it's all about the Soviet shit and the Marxist shit. And he, Franco tries to find a way to get rid of him, basically. So he sends him to a psych ward. Psych ward fucks him up real good. Does that electromagnetic shit to him. Fucks his brain up, saying everything that he's saying is insane. And it's true, it would sound insane to them, but he told that guy, can't remember his name, but he told his sidekick everything. Told him he was from the fucking future, told him all this shit, that's how he's got it, the money, all that shit. And then the sidekick tries to tell it out to the doctors and shit, and they're like, oh yeah, this guy's a fucking lunatic, conspiracy theorist, nut job, whatever. And they end up doing that like electromagnetic shock shit to him. He goes in, tries to find him, and finds him, and he's just warped, man. Absolutely warped from this mental hospital. It looks like he's been through fucking hell, you know? And he tries to tell him who he is, because I skipped a lot of shit, but there's just too much shit to tell. So he basically he got his head kicked in from the bets. He won a shit ton of money. He's like, oh, you made the same bets as your brother did. So how the fuck is this working? And then he got his head kicked in, and he's going back to him to try to remember what he came down there for, basically, and try to figure out who the guys were and whatnot. And sure enough, fucking this guy's like, well, they've been doing this electromagnetic shock to me, and I'm not trying to do that anymore. I'm not about that. And he's telling them exactly what he was telling the doctors, and he's just all fucked up, basically. They turn their heads for a minute, tries to sign some papers to get him out of there, and this dude fucking jumps out the window, commits suicide. And it makes you wonder how much that actually happens. How much does that actually happen in the real world? Like, people, makes you wonder if that happens in society today. Like, someone told someone some shit and no one believes them, and they fucking just go off the rocker, you know. Makes you wonder. And anyways, he falls in love. There's a little love mixture built into it all, and some more drama, which I kind of left out, but it makes it real interesting. Eventually, they end up stopping Lee Harvey Oswald from killing JFK, and then when he does, he goes back to the regular world, and the whole world's fucked. It's like nuked to bits and shit, and fucking all this shit happens, and he ends up seeing his friend from school who's a janitor and shit, and he's like, oh yeah, it's all fucked up. Oh man, it's this, you didn't hear about yada yada yada. Went in and shit, and it's just like the whole America as we know it is just like bombed to bits. So then he goes back and fixes it and just lets it be, basically, because it got all fucked up. But anyways, excellent show. Definitely watch it. It's only 8 episodes, 1 season. Fucking phenomenal. We are out. Hopefully we will see you on the weekend or next week. I don't know. It depends how we're feeling. Peace.